The queen consort posed 3 questions to the young palace maid standing before her. The first question was, what is the most unfathomable thing in the world? The second question was, what is the hardest obstacle in the world to overcome? The third question was, what is the most precious flower in the world? For the officials at court, these 3 questions all had standard textbook answers. The answers were the human heart, famine, and cotton. But this palace maid had no idea about any of that. She gave her own answers instead. For the first 2 questions, her answers were the universe and fate. For the third question, she said that for someone starving, the most precious flower is the rice blossom. For a sick person, it might be the licorice flower. And for someone freezing in the cold, only then would it be the cotton flower. People in different circumstances naturally treasure different things. It was this very answer that made the queen consort see her in a completely new light. She asked Diakim one final question. If she were to help the crown prince, how would the crown prince repay her? The maid answered that he would be like a mirror. If your highness showed the crown prince kindness and care, the crown prince would surely respond with filial devotion. Upon hearing this answer, the queen consort agreed to speak up on the crown prince's behalf. But first she wanted to teach that arrogant princess a lesson. She tasked Diakim with coming up with a plan. The maid learned from the other palace maids that the princess planned to wear silk imported from the Qing dynasty at the sericulture ceremony 2 days later. Armed with this information, the maid quickly drew up a plan and presented it to the queen consort. The queen consort read it and smiled with satisfaction. At the sericulture ceremony 2 days later, the princess arrived in the most extravagant outfit imaginable. She kept flaunting her dress to the wives of high-ranking officials. Suddenly the queen consort called out to her from behind and ordered her to kneel. The princess was caught off guard. She had never shown the queen consort any respect. She certainly wasn't about to follow this order now. She openly defied the queen consort right then and there. The queen consort had her servants force the princess down to the ground. Not knowing what was happening, the princess grew even more defiant. She threatened to go tell her father, the king. The queen consort slapped her right across the face. Then she went straight to the king and broke down in tears before him. She explained that the whole point of the sericulture ceremony was for Joseon women to wear Joseon silk. Yet the princess had been showing off imported silk in front of everyone. Even after being called out, she showed not a shred of remorse. It was her failure as the mistress of the inner palace to have raised her so poorly. She begged His Majesty to place all the blame on her. The king said the fault clearly lay with the princess. The queen consort bore no blame whatsoever. Seeing the king's deep affection for her, the queen consort seized the opportunity to persuade him to lift the crown prince's confinement. She said that keeping him confined any longer would only deepen the rift between the crown prince and the king. The king's strictness toward the crown prince came from a place of deep love. Having heard the queen consort's appeal, the king felt the time had come, and so he released the crown prince from his confinement. The crown prince looked at the palace maid who had worked so tirelessly on his behalf. The maid looked back at him. The bond between them had long since gone far beyond the boundaries of master and servant. That day, while the crown prince was bathing, Diakim attended to him as her duty required as a palace maid. But unexpectedly, this only brought the two of them even closer together. The queen consort posed 3 questions to the young palace maid standing before her. The first question was, what is the most unfathomable